Better? Better. Better. Can you hear me? Hi, Olivia. It's good to see you. Am I still muted? You can hear me or no? Okay, perfect. You can hear me. Sorry, I have music, my beats that I never even thought to use before, but they're turning out great. It's so good to be here with all of you. Yes, it's so awesome. Amanda, thank you. I'm still getting there, but I am way better mentally, physically. Everything seems to have taken a turn. I no longer have a visiting nurse, so I thought I'd come in and celebrate and talk a little bit of Karen Reed. Kelly is not able to join us, but that's okay. She can join us another time. What else we got? Oh, thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Sammy. Oh, thank you. Hi, LJ. Look at you. Hi, honey. Oh, we got Lord Pissa in the house. Lord Pissa. I can help. Nikki, if you want to. I'm actually going to be going over yesterday's Karen Reed shenanigans with Hank Brennan because I have opinions. I have been so out of the loop for the past couple weeks that I've stayed away from YouTube and only have been associating or really getting just with my friends. I've been getting a little bit of updates from there, but I've been trying to stay away from things that make my blood pressure go. So here we are, people. Oh, thank you. One of my viewers, friends, sent me this while I was on my little sabbatical, and I would turn it on, but I have to figure it out because it's a little bright and it really can't see what it is. How's it going, LJ? Send me the link. I will. I will send you the link right now. Invite. Hold on. Copy. What, tweak it? Oh no! Did I get bumped off stream? Oh no, I'm still. God, you can't take me anywhere. Oh. You know what, Nikki? I'm just going to throw it in the chat and you can pop up. If anyone else wants to pop up and talk shit too, you're more than welcome. Yeah, so I have so many opinions about Hank Brennan, okay? Hank Brennan needs to take all the seats. He needs to take every single seat because at this point, everyone can see through his game. He ain't here for justice for John O'Keefe. He is here to save face for the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts that has touched this case, and it is despicable. Yesterday is something that I actually was able to sit down and watch, and I am just floored. And we, of course, we have to discuss Judge Bev because why would we be discussing Judge Bev? Oh, and I see Nikki. Bring up in a second here, babe. Let me add you to stage. Oh, hey, Mama. Are you there?
Hey.
Hi, how come I can't hear you? Weird. Okay.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, now I can. I just can't hear you through my earbuds. I need to figure this out. You would think that I don't know.
Oh, it might be my service too.
But I don't. So that's fun.
It could be my service. Let me see. It could be my service. Let me see if I can go to my.
Hold on 1 second. Let me turn off this fan that's making a ruckus. Okay. So, hi, Auntie Chris. It's good to see you, Mama. My work wife. With that mouth. Lord Pizza! Jesus Christ. No, Nikki never looks like shit, but like as everybody knows, like you're your own worst critic. And like today I came in and I'm like, I haven't washed my hair and I threw on like some floss.
Dude, you have no idea. Yeah,
It's fine.
I cleaned today. And
It's
Lord,
good for you.
you need to zip your lip, okay? There. All right, hang on. I'm gonna get in my truck.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there we go.
I originally had this for 6:45, but I don't know how long we're gonna go. And I took my son and I met my nieces and nephews at Urban Air here in Massachusetts so that they could get all of the energy out because Caden is sick of looking at me. We've been in the house and he is just driving himself and me up a wall. So we needed to make sure that he got out and got all of that out.
So your movie date was good.
What's that?
You guys had a great movie date?
Yeah, it was nice. Dogman was definitely, I wasn't ready for it. Like I didn't really look into it, but it was super cute and it had like a nice sentiment to the movie. And, everybody can just get along and be friends, and it doesn't matter if you feel like you're enemies right now, that you can always make friends with people that you think you don't like. And this is kind of par for course with this with this trial. Auntie Bev's squeaky wheels. Who doesn't love to see you? I love it.
Right?
I love it. Yeah. School vacay week. Exactly. I mean, I have a 4-year-old, so he's home like a lot. But he usually gets to go to school a few hours a day, and I think he's missing that and really just having a hard time.
All boy.
At that point, he's all boy. I mean, he like knows that I have boo-boos and stuff, and he's just like chucking shit at me. He's like, play football with me.
Oh my God! Yeah, you like cuffed you that one time where I'm like, no, sir.
All right, so okay, we have Will and the Young Jerks on, so I don't know how many people we're gonna get in here today, but that's all right. Whoever wants to be here is gonna be here.
Yeah, just guys hit the like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the like.
Yes, thank you, Nikki. Yeah. I always forget to say those things. Spread the word about the channel and get more people here to have tomfoolery. Yeah, see, your boyfriend even knows that you are the most beautiful girl in his world, and that's all that really matters.
He's talking about you, Amy.
Oh no, not me. For fuck's sake. Oh yeah, Cake the Tank says hi. Got to get him out. Yeah, Christine has a very lively dog that tears up her nerves, but she loves him more than anything. So it's just like a kid.
Yeah, they really are too.
They are. Nikki has a brand new dog, and he's so pint-sized and
Teddy.
So adorable.
Yeah. Well, he's not mine. He's Sean's, but he take
care of him.
I'm always like, when I talk to him on FaceTime, I'm like, are you a good boy? And Sean's always like, no.
Oh, he's not with you?
No, he's not. No.
You'll see him soon enough.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Prince Lover, it's awesome to see you, girlfriend. Who else we got here? Nikki, I love you.
Hey, Kelly, love you.
He's just trying to make me feel better.
Kelly, I have a girlfriend that much. She's been my friend since we were kids, and Kaniki is one of her nicknames to me. And she always says, "A hickey from Kaniki is like a Hallmark card. If you care enough to send the very best." Yeah, that's been my nickname for her my whole life. Kaniki.
Hi, Tarniel.
Hey, Prince.
Nikki. He was actually like one of my favorites. Yeah. This is Tar Heel. She is an amazing friend of mine that I've met through here. Kanicki from Greece.
Yeah.
It's a Hallmark card? What's a Hallmark card?
You've never seen... Dude, you watch Grease, right?
Of course.
Rizzo says, Hickey from Kanicki's like a Hallmark card. If you care... Oh, no, his buddy.
Oh, she gets the love taps. The love bites. I haven't had a hickey in forever. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, me either. You get to an age where you just don't like those anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't want any evidence. Amanda says, "Hey, Nikki, a hickey from Nikki." That's right. Yep. Oh my God! Yep. So fast thing, I just saw a video of Dirty Dancing and with the Kendrick Lamar situation.
Oh my God, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
So good. Okay, so I have pulled up for us. I'm even like learning something on my sabbatical that I have the whole thing. So we're just gonna go over it, and you tell me to stop whenever you want to fucking make a comment about these friggin' disastery assholes that we pay with our taxes. That's absolutely disgusting. Like the fact that we paid for these people. And you know what too? I don't know who I heard it from, but Turtle Boy last night, he was like, I love how they're trying to come after Action Jackson for paying for Crash Daddy's room and board. He's like, no. We pay the free care for him to come here. Like
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get this going. Let's see what's happened. This is really the first time I've run through the whole thing, so stop.
Oh my God, girl. It's been an event for sure.
The order is right here, Mr. Clerk.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
All right. Next, I did orders, so we don't need to hear that anymore. Right. Tried to do little working an entire weekend. You got it early enough to do that, right? On the 10th of February?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So paper number 483. This is the motion to compel production of a forensically signed copy of the January 29, 2020 video surveillance footage in law enforcement custody. And the opposition, Jim, I don't have a docket number.
Olivia, the mod strike was legit.
The Commonwealth's opposition in response. Do you have a paper number? Okay.
Amy, you missed the mod strike today.
Oh my God, I heard about it. Kelly called me. I really got to get my shit together and start coming on to the channel again.
You need to relax. And just
I have like other people I mod for too, and they're like, this is me, I haven't been around.
We'll get started in the argument and you can give me that.
506.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, we're getting mod shirts.
Okay.
Mod squad.
Who's arguing this motion for the defense?
Yes.
I am here.
Okay.
I've been on mod strike 2 weeks, so.
Right.
I'm surprised I still have a wrench. All right.
We filed this motion basically because we had no choice. We were following the court's instructions, meeting with Mr. Brennan after court the last hearing, which was the 6th, about the download of the video footage that apparently has been stored, or at least we believed at the time last week, had been stored on some sort of an iCloud. We were told that this was an account of a retired detective, as explained by Mr. Brennan. We met after court. Mr. Brennan told us that we did not need, we told Mr. Brennan that we did not need an expert to fly out and go through all the machinations of having someone present if all the information was a download from some iCloud account, unnamed iCloud account. As long as that was videotaped, we were fine with it. And that was basically the agreement. That was the information that we had at the time. We were predicating that on a conversation that we had with Mr. Brennan in January, I think it was January 22nd. He indicated that he went to Canton PD the same date, and the court will recall December 12th was the date of what I've referred to as sort of the wild goose chase, that we sent an expert out, etc. That same afternoon, apparently Mr. Brennan went to the Canton Police Department and found out that there was, in fact, additional video, which was news to us. He claims that it was news to him. And putting aside how odd that is, after 3 years of being told we have everything, he went on to explain in very specific form in a telephone conversation that he had met with a retired detective. At the time, he could not remember the detective's name.
Of course he couldn't.
The detective believed that he kept a copy of the January 29 video that we were looking for, and that he said that it was on a work computer's iCloud account. Mr. Brennan said that they intended to download it from the iCloud, turn it over, and that's the point at which we said.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there and say that no evidence should be on anyone's iCloud account.
Right.
That defeats the purpose of ever being in a chain of custody, because once it's in a fucking iCloud account, which coming from an IT person that does auditing for a pretty legit thing, under no circumstances should it ever come off a server.
Right.
Ever. Moving along. Okay.
If you don't mind, just hold on that, because we're litigating ultimately this issue, which was the litigation we had on February 6th. So we had the hearing. The day after court on the 6th, after we reached this agreement that the iCloud would just be downloaded and videoed, we received an email from Ms. McLaughlin, and that changed the parameters of what we had believed and what we'd been told by Mr. Brennan. And it sounded more like this.
My grilly.
The Commonwealth changed the story from some work computer iCloud account to the footage was being stored on what's called the, quote, department's video file system. It's very different than a retired officer's or a retired detective's work computer's iCloud, which is what Mr. Brennan believed at the time and what we were led to believe at the time. So we asked for clarification. Mr. Riddle sent an email saying, I'm confused. Now you're talking about something that looks like a much more formal system called the department's, the CPD video file system. So we want, that's fine, no problem, download the videos, but we want the metadata and the log files that are associated with that. If it's on a formal file system, it's going to have metadata for the upload, for any access to the data, and for the download. We want the metadata and the log files as well. And that's the key entirely to the audit trail that we're interested in. Historically, we have been asking for videos, for all this video surveillance to be preserved and provided for about 3 years. And this has been one of the centerpieces of this litigation. When we asked for that additional metadata and the log files, Mr. Brennan, in my opinion, took an odd position, which is, nope, we had an agreement here in that room. We said that you could videotape the download of the videos. You don't get anything else. If you want anything else, go to court and file a motion, which is why we had to file this motion.
And that's a fucking problem to begin with.
This is metadata that is literally in the Commonwealth's possession as we speak. They have it. We're entitled to it. It's simple. That's all we're asking for.
Right. That's what a fair trial is.
Mr. Brennan referred to the video files being.
That's what a fair trial is.
Department detective file, which is yet another name for where this mysterious video.
Another thing is too is I have never heard a Commonwealth ever say. Right. So Brendan's coming in like he's like, but I didn't know. It's not. But no. But you walked into this problem. You adopted this problem, and Lally and that McLaughlin lady is a fucking piece of shit. And you are literally taking on their mistakes.
You took over. So there's that. This is your problem now, Hanky.
It's like you're getting a refurbished computer. You acquire other people's shit, and it's like
you know. Spanky gets all the dirty shit now.
May be held, and we said it's easy to get the metadata. Let's just do a quick forensic image. It'll take less than a day, and all we want is the metadata for the 24-hour period. 23 hours and 59 minutes to be exact, and we don't need to file the motion. The first question I have is, why would the Commonwealth even object to this? It doesn't seem like something that they would want to object to. This is in their possession. They know that they've got it or they've got access to it. Why wouldn't we get it? These videos, again, have been a pain point for this case. These videos have been a pain point for this case for time immemorial, since the beginning of the case. We've been demanding that footage from 2022, January 29th, 2022. We were told explicitly on December 12th that no footage existed when we went out and had an expert look at the DVR. Their analyst actually called Mr. Brennan when our expert, who was on the floor at Canton PD, asked, are there any original files that are in the possession of Canton PD? The analyst, it was Colleen Crawford. It was Colleen Crawford. She went and called Mr. Brennan, according to our analyst.
To be specific.
Mr. Brennan then informed Ms. Crawford to tell our expert, get it from the defense. Whatever. If you want original files, get it from the defense, knowing full well that we don't have it. If we had it, we wouldn't be there.
Right. I love spicy. I love spicy.
You even laughed at the audacity.
The Canton Police Department
Oh, me
revealed
too.
that in fact it did have some video footage on this either iCloud or video system. We take the position very clearly that this is Brady information. It's exculpatory information. The audit trail is what I have from the raw video. How did the footage end up on the system? When did the footage end up on the system? Who put it on the system? How many times has it been accessed? Has it been accessed at all? Has it been altered?
Right.
Has it been manipulated? Has anything been deleted? Those are all data points that will be embedded in the metadata and the log.
I'm going to pause here for a second. So as somebody who has in the past been responsible for audit logs for a healthcare system, audit logs are very, very detailed. And if those audit trails are missing of who accessed what and who may have manipulated information, is definitely logged in those audit logs and audit trails, just like chain of custody that they do not have. And there is a reason for that, because they were intentionally gotten rid of. And that should be a huge red flag to fucking Bev Canoni.
Correct.
She ain't new. She was
Listen,
a defense attorney. She was paid.
She knows, you know, she knows.
You know, but like, what's her angle? Like, why is she trying? She's like the first person to be like on the, in other cases I've heard, to be on the defense side and making sure they get everything they need. Why is she stonewalling this case?
Because she is on the defense side. She's defending the guilty people.
Files.
Can you hear me?
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. My computer's just like being slow. All right, let's start.
The only way to answer those questions is for us to get it. That's all. And that's all we were asking.
Hey, Peppa.
Peppa girl. One of my faves. Oh God, come on. Kids. There we go.
Mr. Brennan, we are surprised that he would object to that, because then in point of fact, he would want those same data as well. Mr. Brennan made a point of saying, when he first came on this case, look, we want to give Ms. Reed a fair trial. We want to be as transparent as possible. And my hope is that was not just lip service for the media. I don't know why the Commonwealth would object to this. There's no reason to object to it. They have it. We were asking for the court to order it. Also,
right. Like, but the thing is, it's not like she should grant it. Like, she should fucking grant it because it's the law.
Right. Injustice brought upon the defense that half the facts are left out of the presentation. So talk about reality. The reality is that I invited them to come download the DVR, NVR, where they full well knew that I had no idea if there was still video on there. And why
his fucking voice, man. Oh,
And
Not
after
his
they filed a
problem.
motion making representations that
Oh
weren't
my God, the
accurate,
voice.
I no longer had the confidence
Yeah,
to have
reminds me of
off-the-record
Hermie
agreements
from
with the defense.
Rudolph, the Red-Nosed
There has
Reindeer.
to be a certain level of confidence that when you have an agreement and you try to get the
The
other side,
misfits.
that the
Yep.
memory of the
I
discussion
want to
is
be a
going to be
dentist.
portrayed accurately. And in losing confidence, the best way to practice for discovery is motion. And yet the court asked me to meet with the defense after court, and I'll always honor the court's request. So because of your order, we met with the defense. Now, as a matter of background, when they came out to look at the DVR, there was no motion. That was by invitation. It wasn't lip service. It wasn't trying to spin a story for the media. It was a good faith effort to accommodate the defense to an entitlement that they weren't actually entitled to. I didn't go on the 12th and speak to.
It's evidence.
That's exactly what they're fucking entitled to, Hank.
Right, exactly.
Because I wanted to know more about the cameras. I had never visited the station. I wanted to know about the process. And I wanted
Yeah,
to
I know
ask
where he can
questions
fucking
to
shove his
investigate
harmonica.
about the process,
Right.
because I wanted to do due diligence. And when I met with the chief and other officers, I was told by a retired sergeant who was there, DGM Petra, that he was the officer who would download video upon request. He never downloaded a 24-hour period. He was never asked to. There was never a motion to. When the government would ask, or state police would ask for a download of a particular event, like the Sallyport area, he would download it. And what he told me is that that is on the DVR, an independent unit that has all the metadata and the log.
Aw, Teddy.
If it still survives time. He said when he would load it, he then had his own hard drive at his office, and there was different files. One was called detective file because he's a detective. And he'd simply click and drag a copy of whatever he filed.
Give my puppy a kiss for me.
With the state police before. It wasn't a full accounting
Yes.
of all the metadata of the video. It was whatever he decided to copy because he was asked to copy it. And so I thought, well, there's more information that exists. It's not going to be a 24-hour period. It's probably going to be cumulative, but I wouldn't know unless I
gotta make Teddy a little free
Oh,
Karen
this is
Reed
killing me.
sweatshirt,
Yeah, he needs a little shirt.
right? A little hoodie, a little black free Karen Reed, or a little framed hoodie. I'll see if Richie can make me one. Like a little frame, like a little license plate framed
Yes, absolutely.
on the back.
Come on. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Hey, Shelves.
This is the thing. Like, metadata is metadata, and why is it okay for shall we see it?
nothing else
Team. What?
about this issue. It's that simple.
We're missing Scott,
And
Shelves.
it's complicated. It's not a complicated. Download the video, give it to the defense, and then they can make any commentary or argument they want about it.
How quickly can you do that?
I imagine we could do it one day, but today it'll be done by the end of the week.
You want to make, I'd be heard briefly,
Yes,
very, very briefly.
take your time.
Thank you. Mr. Brennan's confidence notwithstanding, I don't know what to say about that. More concerned about his obligations as the representative of the Commonwealth. And he really didn't talk about the metadata in his argument. He didn't talk about the metadata in his written presentation, his opposition, because he knows that we're entitled to it. That's all we're asking. One thing I really agree with him on. This is simple. This shouldn't be a fight. He's got video data. He's got metadata associated with that video data, and there's probably, maybe, log files. If there are, we're entitled to them, and he should want to give those over to us. He just indicated that this detective file, whatever it is a hard drive. Every electronic storage device has metadata on it. So even if it's a drag and drop, makes it sound super simple, that electronic drag and drop will have metadata associated with it. That hard drive, every time it's accessed and the data on it is accessed, also will have metadata.
Right.
Euphemistically, it's called electronic fingerprints. every single, whether it's a thumb drive, a hard drive, or a server.
Yeah, Chris, it's all fake
Bro.
now.
Every one of them have metadata on it. So it's not
Metadata and like real auditing,
interested in the data
like
that is behind the
keystrokes.
and
That's how good it is.
So concerned. And Mr. Brennan makes this argument, well, the defense is just up here, you know, again, pontificating about how they've been oppressed, I think is his word. Nobody's talking about oppression. We're talking about fairness. We have been told from day one.
Talk about it, Action Jackson.
This court recalls this. We don't have any further video evidence. Whatever videos we have, we've given them over to you. Then on April 4th, in the shadow of the trial starting, we get more video. Where did that come from? Then in the middle of trial, we get more video. Happens to be an inverted video. Where did that one come from? Then on October 24th,
Jim Clown.
This past October 24th, well after the trial, we get more video of Brian Higgins out at the location of CPD on his phone. Where are these dribs and grabs of video?
You ain't wrong.
That's what we're asking. And Mr. Brennan should want the
October 24th. Did that video come with the metadata?
No, it's just video. It's a video file. And I'll also, that's a great point, Judge. When you have a hard drive that's storing video files, my understanding, again, I'm no expert. My understanding is that hard drive will likely have some sort of an EXE program, an executable program on it to play the video or to store the video.
It sure will.
Potentially some sort of video player, maybe a proprietary player on it, and then there's going to be the file. So that's what we're asking. There's metadata associated with all those things. It's not a hard ask. It's not a heavy lift. There's no reason to justify, well, you know what, I'm just going to drag and drop this and you get the video and nothing associated with the video. That's all we're asking.
Any further response, Mr. Brennan?
Your Honor, there's no attempt to deprive the defendant of anything. In fact, historically, if we look back, we invited them to come to the actual hard drive and do it themselves, and they declined.
That wasn't there.
This isn't an issue where the government is trying to hide something or keep something from them. There was obvious metadata. We would provide it, but I don't understand this.
Oh my God, he's so full of shit, Hank.
Asking for certain things that I don't think we can accomplish.
So full of shit.
Anyone who comes, they're invited. The court wants me to inquire of the retired sergeant detective about metadata. I'll do that, but the issue is going to become that when we drag and click these videos, and if there is no metadata or logs of what they say they're looking for, there's going to be yet another accusation.
Right.
It's beyond our duty. Our duty is to provide videos. What more can we do than to invite the defense themselves to come into the Canton Police Department and take a look at the system? So if there's something they want, then we'll find it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You know, I've never seen a judge so
Mr. Manning, the next one
uninterested.
should be fairly
Oh my
quick and
God,
simple.
the
motion
size
for
and shit.
Kovac Vici. I asked you before when Mr. Alessi joined us.
Oh, let's talk about Bettero.
Good cause exists to grant this motion because Mr. Bettero had, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Bettero
You know how to
has
pronounce his
specialized
name,
skill
bitch.
in
Stop it.
representing
Right.
defendants in matters of this nature. I
Stop
asked
it,
you
Dom.
last time what you
Fuck
mean by
out of here with
that.
that.
I need
Stop
another
it right
affidavit.
now.
As soon as I get another affidavit that has a little bit more in it, I'll likely allow the motion.
And would the court require further oral
I would probably allow it on the papers unless I know there's an opposition, but. All right, but I need.
She
more
sure
detail.
is. Want to say hi?
Your Honor, may I have just a moment with counsel?
Hi, like and subscribe
Hi,
to
baby.
get Mommy 1 million subscribers.
He's my biggest fan.
He really is, too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you for
the
that.
next one's,
He's the best.
Maybe her brief.
yes,
Maybe her brief.
yes. So I did just say unless there was an opposition. Is this an opposition?
So wait, I'm gonna pause one more time because this might be lengthy between us.
No, go for it.
Okay, so all of this is like one thing, right? Like, okay, they haven't turned over this, they didn't turn over that. But why does Bev keep sidetracking the fact that they were given inverted videos that they were told didn't exist in the middle of the trial. That the state police said that that was an accurate description, which we all caught that shit immediately. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just a girl that's been through a lot of shit, and I've seen and
street smart.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, this fucking
you can't I went to get my nails taken off yesterday or the other day. Yeah, yesterday. And this girl, I was just explaining how I was here, there, back, and I'm just coming home from Stoughton, and she's like, "Oh my god, my dad lives in Stoughton." I'm like, "Oh yeah?" I'm like, "Have you ever heard of Karen Reed?" She's like, "No," and I'm like, "Dude." I'm like, we exchanged numbers, and I'm like, "Here, start with Turtle Boy Framed, and text me when you're ready for something else."
Right.
So I sent her microdots and shit.
Yeah, microdots is a good place to start for anyone who, I mean, Aiden too, he can be a little off-putting for some people, so maybe direct them to one place and then let them go down the rabbit hole, and they can realize that TB has reported everything absolutely accurate, so he should get Journalism of the Year.
What I said to her, I said, think of the most craziest in your head case where shit just is you can't even make it up. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, this case, that won't even compare to this case. She's like, really? I'm like, oh my god. Yeah.
Right? Someone said it. They were like, if script writers brought this to someone and was like, let's make this movie, they were like, it's too far fetched.
Right? Only, yeah. This is yeah.
I can't wait to see the four movie.
I know.
4 TV.
I know the
movie
ID
of this.
one.
Okay.
It's not in opposition because I think it's a very fundamental right. And I don't think the Commonwealth should an accused from having counsel of their choice. Mr. Betterow is also an attorney for Mr. Kearney. And that is something that I think the court should consider.
But one doesn't have to do with the other.
For a couple of reasons. There is a history, a symbiotic relationship between Ms. Reed and Mr. Kearney. There is a history of documented evidence showing the sharing of discovery between the parties. And inevitably, that discovery is promoted in such a way that abuses, harasses, and bullies witnesses in the case. Not on my or a dozen indictments against Mr. Kearney, which Mr. Breaux is representing him for. Now, it's not great clarity, but it's been represented that there is a relationship between Mr. Betterow, Mr. Bradle, who's Mr. Kearney's other attorney, and the defense attorneys in this case.
And why bring up Bradle?
There's a record that has been represented that the attorneys in Mr. Kearney's case, Mr. Betterow, Mr. Bradle, have an understanding with the defense attorneys in this case. That there's an ongoing, long-term, implicit mutual assistance and mutual defense that they've been a part of for a long time. Now, the Commonwealth is not entitled to any product of a mutual defense, but it is curious in that Ms. Reed and Mr. Kearney are not co-defendants. It is curious.
Yeah, they did too, babe.
Most of them
they did. They arrested 5 of them.
Case that allegedly have been harassed and intimidated. It is curious that that relationship exists and the nature of that relationship. It's not something that I think I'm entitled to, but the court certainly could delve into that ex parte. It's important because we'll later talk about in a sanctions motion
Amy,
violation of protective orders in this case.
Hold on.
In the discovery in this
all
case,
you can hear is Caden's video.
Got you. Oh, Caden, honey, you gotta turn that down, honey. Oh, that's all people can hear. Thank you. Good?
Yep.
Better?
Thank you, baby.
I was trying to get him to put earphones on.
was
He's like,
provided
fuck
to
that.
the Special
He's like,
attorney
no.
in Mr. Kearney's case to make sure that there was a thorough review of all discovery, and much of that was turned over subject to a protective order. And I expect there'll be a similar motion
He does to
Mr.
Amanda.
Kearney's case. Within 24 hours of the violation in this case, there was a violation of different material in that case. So inevitably, you have Attorney Betterow will be serving two masters. We will receive protected information in this case that is supposed to remain protected and not leaked and distributed to the media and the press and court pleadings. And some of that information will not be information that Mr. Kearney is entitled to. And being in a position of representing two different defendants who are not co-defendants,
They're not co-defendants, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
And I am worried, and I have good
Exactly.
reason to be worried about the privacy of our
Sorry.
protected material. I have good reason to be concerned about the improper
I forgot he was in
dissemination
here.
of our material. I have a reason to be concerned about the continued harassment and bullying of witnesses and this information. If a court order won't protect it, then nothing will. And so we know this relationship is substantive. We know it is a deep relationship. The attorneys, in fact, in this case, have direct communications I had with Mr. Kearney, over 29 calls each. And so, not to speculate, but having a mutual agreement, a mutual aid agreement, does not allow an attorney then to become one of the attorneys who is entitled to protection under a protective order in a particular case. It doesn't. And that concerns the government. And so while I do not object to Attorney Betterow, they should have as many lawyers as they want. I think the court should have some caution and some concern and should consider some type of
Exactly, Olivia.
ex parte without the Commonwealth present about the nature of
Yeah.
this joint aid agreement and the history of it and whether protected information was ever shared prior to Mr. Betterow presumably joining this case, and whether there's protocol in place that if there is protected information in this case, that it does not leak again. It does not get shared with a non-co-defendant. I don't even know how to describe the relationship. I'm asking the court to consider.
Hold on, I'm pausing this really quick. Krusty, I said crusty point where he needed to do, like, why wouldn't you do your homework with this? They tried to make them co-defendants, and Judge Krupp, who isn't even like the best judge, Aiden, I don't think can stand him, but he makes good rulings. He's like,
He does. Yeah, he really does.
One with the other. So why are you trying to make fetch happen? It's like sitting at the mean girl table.
Yep. You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us. No, hey, you can't sit here.
To be able to walk into this courtroom without fear, without bullying, without abuse, and that has not happened. For many reasons, it has not happened. And this makes it a more complicated issue. The defendant is entitled to a fair trial, which means she's entitled to another attorney.
Yeah.
But the Commonwealth is entitled to. The Commonwealth is entitled to a fair trial.
No, you're not. You need fucking evidence.
In this courtroom without being abused. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ms.
My-
Kennedy, I have to consider everything that was just said.
Before
I'll
we
wait for
move
that.
on, I just want to point this out.
Pause it.
First of all, the
Pause it,
Commonwealth, I have never heard, Yeah. I have never heard a state say we have the right to a fair trial. No, you should have all the evidence you need to get the trial to win. You're not entitled to anything.
Yeah.
But the defense is entitled to every single piece of evidence that you have against Karen so that they can rebut. And you know what? I know this, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but they shouldn't have to turn over everything that they found out about state witnesses.
No,
because first
that's
of all,
how you impeach people.
That's how you impeach people. Exactly.
That is how you impeach people, And B,
Right.
The Commonwealth has the burden of proof, not Karen. It's not Karen. Karen doesn't have the burden of proof to prove that she just has to just be reasonable doubt, if nothing else. The Commonwealth and Hank have to be burden of proof. So they need to give her what she is rightfully owed, and that's all the evidence.
That's right. And I agree with my friend Beatrice here, who says you're just a bully and you're just a better bully than Lally was, and that's why you're top seed.
Right, exactly.
But the fact that like that McLaughlin lady, who's a silent piece of shit, who gets all the stuff going, and then you have Lally sitting there like he'd rather be anywhere else because he hates his life. They're all still helping Hank with the information. So if Hank's not doing his own due diligence to make sure that he is prosecuting this case the way it should be, instead of going off what Lally and McLaughlin did horribly the first trial, then he's just making himself look like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
An absolute fool.
He does it even in here because, I'm going to jump ahead, so I'll wait. But he does it in here. He does it when he starts going over the ACRA experts, right? He's like, "Oh, that would have been nice to know." Yeah, well, motherfucker, he says that.
Right.
He states that Knight Jesus Christ, Nikki.
It is.
It differentiates between night and day. And night, because it's dark and it's easier to hit pedestrians.
Right.
It's like dude, know your shit. Don't come in and because all of us know this case inside and out. Like, I laugh when people say, "Oh no, she's guilty." I just laugh at this point because I used to get so fired up about it. Well, I still do, but like I don't even waste my time because those are people that just don't and won't. You know what I mean? They won't see. It's like I'm not gonna waste my time, my breath, my patience on trying to fucking change your mind. Not gonna do it.
Right. I have a friend whose brother is a Boston detective, and he is so like, my friend is like huge anti-Karen, okay? And his brother, even though he refuses to look at the case, he is just dead set that Karen is guilty because he doesn't think that his brothers in blue would do that. And that, I think that's like both like ridiculous and a shame, because you have to look at everything, and if you can't see something from the truth, then you have to like question their it's decision process too. Because if you're a cop and you're like, well, I'm just gonna go with him because he's a police officer and I don't believe police officers would do this, like that's a detriment to your job too. Like, you need to be able to look at every aspect, especially being a detective,
right?
And that it's a little scary. You know, I believe that a lot of Boston police officers don't come forward because they're afraid of losing their jobs, and I don't blame them. Like, everyone feels that way, right? Like, you wouldn't want to lose your job, but there are some written in stone. I don't care. I don't want the evidence. I just know that these people didn't do it.
Well, there hasn't been a single cop there fucking backing them up, has there? Or being there for Officer O'Keefe. So that says something right there in itself.
It did say something, and it said to me that they're not looking for the truth. They don't give a flying fuck what happened to John O'Keefe. None of them do. And that's the saddest part of all of this. No one cares, in my opinion, including his family, what actually happened to him. They don't care.
Exactly.
They don't want the truth. They don't want to open up their eyes. They're tunnel vision. Turtle Boy's a problem. Karen Reed's a problem. Right. And we just want them to go down. But they're not looking at the facts. They're looking at the Commonwealth's case with rose-colored glasses.
Well, no offense, but you have to.
I don't meant the rose-colored glasses until I don't, and then I'm like, wow, that's what I was missing. Like, have like an open mind of like what's really going on here.
But this is one of those cases that you have to do your own research, and mainstream media ain't gonna fucking do it for you. You can't watch 25 and get the facts.
Yep, Absolutely. And they can't handle the truth. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's about not being able to handle the truth or being righteous right fighters where it doesn't matter what the real truth is. They just want to be right.
Right. Correct.
You know?
Yeah.
And from what I don't know, it's been a rumor. I don't like spreading rumors, but from what I know that Peggy O'Keefe didn't like Karen from the jump. A lot of mothers are like that.
I've heard
right?
that
And
over
so
and
it
over
was
and over.
yeah, like she was just looking for a reason to extra
like,
hater.
period.
Yeah.
Like she just listen. I feel bad for her. She lost 2 kids. Okay, but
Awful.
I mean, she is. I've seen pictures of her and shit flipping off, with fucking drinks in her hand. Like she's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I want to be fun, fucking when I get older, but she's just like, oh, she's got like an ick factor about her. Something about her, you know.
She has that ick factor, like you know that's the grandmother that, like, I don't know if this is just like my opinion, speculation of like what I would think about her as a grandmother. She probably was a really hard ass mom that drank, and the
Well, she's the Irish mother. Yeah, exactly.
She's an Irish mother, girl. Preach it. We all got those. We all got those ones that drink a little too much and get a little nasty and start making phone calls.
Listen, I love my fucking Jack and Cokes, you know.
Me too. Me too. But I'm like happy and flirty and trying to bring people home. I don't know.
Oh my God, don't. You're gonna be quiet because the fucking Lord's in here. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
No, I don't drink anymore. So there's that.
I'm not like that mean. I'm not that mean drunk. I am that. Oh my God, I fucking love it. Oh Jesus, yeah. Nick factor. He says. Yeah, he says a Nick factor. Yeah, no, I like love everybody and yeah, I just
the Nick factor. God, you put us both together. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want her as a mother-in-law. No, like I've had both spectrums where like I had my ex that like his mother probably loved me more than he did. And then I had other exes long-term that their mother had like a weird obsession with their kids.
Their son, it's that narcissist mama's boy syndrome.
Yeah, hopefully I don't have that. I mean, I feel real protective of my son and everything, and like I want him to like make good choices.
I love you to the core, but you're fucking gonna be 100%. I'm gonna be like that with Rue. It is what it is. Like
but I want to like teach him how to treat women right and treat women with respect,
exactly,
and dignity and stuff. And so like hopefully the way I treat him, he will attract the right women. Right. And like I want him happy, but like I don't want him with from some hood bugger like looking for anyway. I digress.
No bitches from Hyde Park.
No, you don't want to date your mother.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I'm fucking dead.
Mothers can be weird when it comes to picking.
Especially with boys.
Girlfriends, they like better.
Dude, with Alexis, her and I, we butted heads for the longest time. Now we're way better, but my son, he's still my baby, you know, and I like, yeah.
And like people like me, like I can spot like sussy people from like fucking 10 miles away. And so if a girl walks into my house and I'm like, you're trash.
Right. I'm the same.
I might have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Like Kaden,
no, but I mean, but like even Peggy, she wanted nothing to do with the fucking kids or nothing. That's why John took the kids over.
No. She wanted nothing to do with them, and neither did Paul. But Paul decided to get money and like do an addition to his house and didn't help him at all with the kids, and the mother didn't either until she had to when there was no one else to take them.
Where do you get the money for the addition? That's fucking weird.
Through the money that like life insurance.
Yep. For the kids.
I don't know that for a fact, but like
allegedly.
Hi Toots. It's good to see you, Mama. Hello, the bell. my little Alabama girl, my girl, left. Hold on. I left high school sweet. Mama's boy is real. Why I left my high school sweetheart. Mommy boy is real. Yeah, I mean, but like I have a boy and he is a mama's boy, and like I hope he like goes for a woman that has like some quality to her. And I know that like a lot of guys that would rather date a hood booger because it's easier. And I want my son to not feel that way. I want him to feel like he has self-worth to have a good woman. And not saying that when he was like a kid, but as growing up and like having picking a partner, like I want to instill in him that like you treat women right and you don't allow women to treat you not right. So and like, you know, too, like Karen and John supposedly had issues. Every couple has issues, but that's none of his mother's fucking problem. That's not Paul O'Keefe's problem because she was the first person to call when he got pulled over in a DUI and like named somebody.
She was the first person to bail him out too.
She was the first person. So was she really that bad of a person, Paul?
Right.
You know, I think a lot of times too, they want to have a safe face within Canton because they live at John's house. And I know Paul doesn't, but he's associated with all those people, knows all those cops, knows everything. And it really makes me upset to think that they would rather back these people to be the cool kids than to find out what happened to their brother, who was taking care of their nieces and nephews and grandchildren. Because they lost their mother to cancer and their father to a heart attack. Like, that's tragic. Their life is tragic, but it does not make an excuse for you to be a douchebag, right?
I mean, not for nothing, right? Like, you can tell straight. Like I can tell straight, and I know that you can too, and pretty much everybody that knows Karen and has watched. But like, she grew up like. I mean, they're so close, like her and her mom and just her and her dad. Like she was raised with, you know, with being close to both of her parents, you know, and they're the nicest people. Nathan's, you know, wicked nice. Like, you know, it's like, so yeah, she wasn't hoodlum at all. She was a teacher or professor at Bentley, you know.
She's a professor. Listen, I could be petty as fuck, and if these people be an asshole to me, I'd be like, "You're gonna address me as Dr. Reed because she's a PhD, and if you want to call me all these things, I'm a murderer and I'm all these kind of things, then you're gonna address me properly as Dr. Reed because she earned that. She's a good person with a good solid base. But you know what, too? Like I've dated guys myself that have like real questionable fucking family homes. And a lot of times they project that shit onto their relationships and they're not okay with you having like sexual attachments to people. Right? So like, but this is the thing too, is like everything we're saying right now is just us like going from our own experiences.
I know. Like we're just on the phone.
Yeah, we're going for our own experiences. But this is the thing, that none of this equates murder. Like I truly believe that she was in love with John. And John maybe didn't know how to love her. He probably didn't have the capacity to love her with everything he was going on, the way she needed to be loved. And that's where a lot of the problem started. But I never for a second thought that she did it. And you know, too, for a second, I read this too on X the other day. I'm not an X person, but I was on there.
I'm not either, but like, I've been on it all the time lately.
Have you?
Yeah, the past friggin' like week or two.
I get all my information from Kelly.
I do too, but I can't deal. It's so much drama, dude, and I hate drama.
I can't.
It's like,
I can't do it. And like I've seen my name like dragged on X for no reason, and I just like, this is why I don't go on. What I don't know doesn't hurt me. Exactly. I'm almost 50. I've earned it. Yes, we've all earned good things. And sometimes, you know what, too? I'm just going to say it like I'm so at peace.
Almost 50. Bitch, you just turned 40. Relax.
40. No. Our friend Amanda is almost 50.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm 40. I turned 40 like a month ago. I've hit that club. Wait, hold on 1 second. If I were Karen, when Proctor said she was a see you next Tuesday, I would have been like, put that doctor in front of Yes,
Right.
I love that. You're gonna call me Dr.
Dr.
You
Yep.
loser.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, let's go back.
Yeah.
We digress. All right.
I do standing. I think so too. But I also think that eventually, like, their partying got old.
489, Commonwealth's motion to amend the December
Yeah.
order pertaining to audio recordings in possession of Gretchen Voss and or Metro Court.
Fuck a Gretchen Voss.
Relatively straightforward.
I know. I know.
Hear you. Mr. Brennan.
Your Honor, you provided us the full audio between the defendant attorneys and Ms. Voss. I'd like to have it transcribed because I expect to use many parts of it for trial. The order was
Amy,
all the
you
attorneys could listen to
all
it.
you can hear is Caden.
The attorneys have listened to it. It was sent to a transcriber, but I
Hold on, I'm gonna go. I think he's sleeping.
to it or record it
Aw,
because although I
Bubby.
expect it might have been in the protective order, I want to be beyond caution on this and beyond reproach. So I'm asking permission for me to be able to make a copy, stenographer make a copy so that we can identify pieces that we expect to use for trial.
Oh my God, that was so good, Chris, wasn't it?
No objection to this, is there?
Flip was making them.
No, Your Honor.
Flip was making the better real bingo cards.
Yes. All right, so this is allowed.
I don't know. He makes me laugh.
All right.
And I would just like to say, Turtle Boy was the nicest man when I met him in person, and he was so nice to my son.
Yep.
Motion for court order authorizing
He's got a gift with
defense
kids.
access to the Lexus in Traverse
You
and
can
to
tell
the
he was a
driveway
teacher.
at One
He
Meadows
does.
Avenue in Canton to conduct an independent testing and analysis. I did
Wicked.
receive this morning an
I
affidavit
would have pissed him off.
Right.
All right.
from attorney
Bob is just
Diller
thinking.
on behalf of the O'Keefe family in response to defendants Rule 14 and 17 motion for court order authorizing defense access to the Lexus in Traverse and to the driveway at One Meadows Ave in Canton to conduct independent testing and analysis. I
allowed
assume
that.
counsel has seen this affidavit of Mr. Dillon.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. In the interest of saving time, I would alert the court that Mr. Brennan and I have conferred prior to today. And today he handed me a drive that appears to have the 3D scans that we were seeking.
Okay.
So that may well satisfy us. And I would ask that the court take no action on this motion until we've had a chance to view them. And we may not need to have action on this motion.
Okay. I do just want to say
Go, yeah,
it's
Hetty.
clear from this
I was gonna say,
affidavit that
Satisfy, huh?
there's a spirit of cooperation, even though unnecessary, frankly, on behalf of the O'Keefe family. So I would not do anything really other than what their lawyer has suggested. Okay. All right, so no action taken.
Okay.
Anyone notice that his wife
So next
wasn't
is
there?
paper 493.
Yep.
Defendant's motion to
She hasn't
reconsider
been there. Erin's
reciprocal
been there
discovery order
sporadically.
and paper 503.
One of
the
them's gotta
Commonwealth's
work.
opposition. So who is arguing this motion for the defendant?
I will be.
Their FMLA ran out.
Would you like me to address both issues first or?
Both issues.
Okay. So, Your Honor, taking first the motion to reconsider the reciprocal discovery order, I start by acknowledging that in this area with regard
for fuck's sake.
discovery orders and reciprocal discovery orders. I'm also aware of the court's ruling in the first trial whereby we were ordered essentially to turn over any evidence that we were going to use when impeaching Commonwealth's witnesses. And that's what we're asking the court to reconsider. It is our position, Judge, that, part of, and I believe I quoted a case on the last page of the motion. The effectiveness of often depends on being able to surprise a witness, particularly an accusing witness, with evidence that contradicts or is inconsistent with his trial testimony. And with regard to at least two witnesses, the examples that we outline in the motion,
I love you, Nettie.
we were deprived of that very legitimate exercise
Me too.
of confronting a witness and surprising them with in their
Isn't that with every trial?
personal home of Mr. Lank from the Canton Police Department. That only came up after we were ordered and did produce, pursuant to the court's order, the geofence data, which revealed that that meeting did take place. And so, you know, the Commonwealth, armed with that information, you know, went and talked to her about it, obviously.
Because he
was
wanted
very
Karen
well
Time
prepared
Heals.
on
He wanted
cross-examination
him and
to
he was a sap for Karen, and they were
a very
talking,
detailed,
and
explanation.
it was kind of a thing.
To diffuse
Well, for him,
the
anyways,
fact
not so much for her, but
that she hadn't mentioned it before. She was very well prepared
True.
for that. And, you know, secondly, with regard to the juvenile witness, as the court remembers, I'm sure from the first trial.
Amanda, preach, girl. That
and,
Jackson dude.
I feel the same way about Adrian.
Show
Yeah.
the type of
I know he's
animosity that had
married,
been
but a girl
originally
could wish.
prepared. And
Yeah.
so when it came time for trial testimony, it turned into something different. It turned into, well,
Adorable. They
that was
both
a
are.
takeout incident, which, you know, we question what was done
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
scenes to, you know, arrive at that conclusion as well. And, you know, I also, you know, include in the motion, and just to be clear, Judge, this is something I will start with in addressing the
Tar
motion
Heels.
for
They didn't, I don't
sanctions.
think that they
This
wanted
is
to
my motion.
unalive
I
him.
drafted it.
Yeah.
None of our
I just
co-counsel
think
saw
it
this
happened the
motion
way it
before was
happened.
filed.
You know,
So I take responsibility for everything that's in there. But, you know,
it
we
wasn't
also make the
intentional,
point
I don't
that
think, but it
with
happened.
regard to, you know, Trooper Proctor,
Right.
it appears as though there was, you know,
I'm going to stop this for a second and discuss that.
is that the inference?
Hold on. Taria's the best, by the way. I know her from my other channel. Just one of the most amazing. I just want to put this out there that my theory, like a lot of people are like, you know, the McAlberts are murderers and blah, 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 blah. I just want to go on the record by saying I do not think that this was a premeditated unaliving. I don't think that they meant to do it. I think that something, they were all drinking all day. I think there was some animosity between X, Y, and Z. A lot of them, there was animosity, right? They lured him over there to have a confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
And they panicked and didn't do the right thing. Whether he could have been saved or not is we'll never know. But they went about it the whole wrong way because of their ego and not being able to be like, this shit popped off. And so I think that they were going to blame Lucky, in my opinion. And then Karen Reed came sniffing, and it was like, well, we don't know her. Fuck her. Let's just, you know.
Yeah, she was the easy scapegoat.
It was the easy scapegoat. Yeah, I don't think it was planned. I don't think that like these people, they just made some really bad missteps when it came to this, and they're doubling down over and over and over.
Accidents happen, but you can still go to jail for accidents, you know?
We draw because he's...
What?
And yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, they could have, they've had 3 years. But you know, too, maybe there could be some other skeletons in their closet that they feel if they were to come forward and be like, this is what happened, a lot of other stuff could have come down. Because from what I know, like even from the past, like when Brian Albert was on Boston's Finest, I heard some really nasty shit about him.
Dude, and beating the fuck out of people and shit, putting them in the fucking, I heard too.
Yeah. And like, but the thing is, dude, not even like, I mean, there was suspects that he did this to, but it was like his own
brothers. Yeah, his own coworkers and the Appolito. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Fucking hot messes. And like, you know what? Karma's a bitch.
He says the one
and yes,
part
babe.
that he didn't want to watch
what they
was
say about
Mr.
you,
Jackson's
but you're mine,
closing
so.
argument, and he obviously uses derogatory language toward him as well. If we turn over this information in advance, not only does
I agree. It doesn't make sense to plan it.
Commonwealth get a chance to blunt this information by having the witness be
Exactly,
given an opportunity
Jim.
to mold their testimony to take into account
Yep,
the
exactly.
impeachment.
They want the flat.
You know, this is a I won't say unique trial, but it's a rare trial that, you know, is streamed online. There's obviously a lot of press interest. Some people are watching everything that goes on. The court has issued sequestration orders. We don't know for sure whether they've been complied with. And to the extent that we turn over this impeachment material and the Commonwealth uses it, you know, it's another opportunity for a witness to see potentially in advance something that could otherwise be damaging toward cross-examination. So switching to the Commonwealth's motion for sanctions.
Oh, of course, let's wait, Bev.
Understood.
All right, so, Mr. Brennan?
God, I could not be a lawyer and deal with her, man. I would be fucking so mad.
I'd be so mad.
The court shouldn't force reciprocal discovery. You shouldn't force it, Your Honor. Trial by ambush is simply that, trial by ambush.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
There were many instances when I.
So now we're ambushing your guilty fucking witnesses? Okay, gotcha.
They expected to use for impeachment. And the rule requires them to do that. The reporter's note to Rule 14 talks about reciprocal discovery. Quote, even-handed discovery to both sides will improve both the administration and the delivery.
Standing, I literally just I read that. It's
Jen! Has a right to get information before their testimony. Just like the Commonwealth provides all evidence to the defense should do the same. Now, it's notable in the rules, although they're changing March 1st. We look at Rule 14A1A. That has a limitation in discovery.
Correct, babe.
The Commonwealth under the person's direction and control. The reason for that is because the Commonwealth, unlike the defense, must provide all discovery in their
correct,
possession and
Wheels.
control. So, for example, if the Commonwealth is going to call an expert, they have to provide everything. Although the rules are a little bit more limited, it is the best practice to provide everything.
Right.
The Commonwealth is not going to call a witness, they still have obligations. And that is why that language is in Rule 14A1A. If the Commonwealth says consult with somebody, they're not going to call.
Me too. He looked fired up.
I get random emails from unknown people, anonymous or something.
The man's a genius. The way he writes.
Dude, he is. Oh, it's so attractive the way he just is snarky in his.
I have no intention of calling.
Yeah, you know, when he throws Bev's words in her face. I love it.
Because I am the Commonwealth.
And then he's like, I don't know what a hashtag is, but I know what a hash value is.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what hashtag is, but yeah, it's hash value.
To produce evidence. If they have evidence they're going to use at trial, they have an obligation to provide it. And so allowing the defense to simply hide information because they think it's impeachment at trial is uneven.
That's true.
It's not fair play. It's not in the interest of justice. There is no caveat or exception for the defense that they're entitled, in state court anyways, federal rules are very different, in state court for them to withhold reciprocal discovery. The order of the court at the first trial, even though it wasn't followed religiously, was that
oh, really? Is that what you're going to call it?
Obligation of both sides. And that should not change. It's going to create
something don't pass the sniff test there, Hank.
Delay in the case, and it's going to create an unfairness. It will be. It will be. And so, since there is
hold on, I have to get a phone charger.
Entitlement to withhold impeachment material, we should not make an exception for this team. They should provide it like everybody else. So I'm asking you to maintain the reciprocal discovery order already in place,
Lord.
and then hopefully at this trial will be abided.
Was there any
Jesus Christ, Amy?
follow-up to that? The motion for sanctions will be a little bit later.
Right. The only thing I would point out, Your Honor, is that with regard to the report of Jennifer McCabe, I should say, revealing this length meeting, that report wasn't provided to us until after she testified. And I think this court
Because that's
remembers from the
fine.
trial that there was sort of a rolling discovery that we received even as the trial was going on. So I just wanted to make
Rolling.
that
It's still coming.
Your Honor, I've tried my best, and I will
That's what she
provide
said.
all discovery
That's what she
behind
said.
the defense.
Thank you.
I've been on the side where late discovery comes in a trial, and I never.
Hold on, I have to pause this for a second because I have to address my friend Sharon. Sharon, I got your beautiful card and the things that you sent me, and they are absolutely amazing. And I haven't had a chance to get back to you, and it was absolutely beautiful. Your card was beautiful, and I appreciate you so much. I really do. Okay, I just had to say that. All right.
But that is not the intent of the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is doing everything possible to give the defense more discovery than they're entitled to as early as we can.
All right, thank you. Next is paper 495. This is defendant's motion to compel discovery, and then there was a response from the Commonwealth. Paper 502. So who's arguing this for the defendant?
Thank you.
Come on.
Okay.
Get
Come
it,
on,
Liza.
Liza.
She's a force.
Watch.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
we filed a motion to compel
Flip
certain
pointed
discovery
this out
that's
to
still
me.
outstanding.
Watch
There's
Alessi.
10
He
items. I'll address those
He
in
ends up
turn.
helping her. He
The
leans
first
back and
request
holds
deals
the thing up.
So you have Commonwealth's response.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yes, I-
Pause it for a
I'm going
second.
to skip over
Because these are
those.
his days.
Those I'll just ask that the court allow.
He's
those
so
requests.
stealth about it,
For
but he
request
leans
one,
back and
we
he holds
asked
up
for all
the
chain of custody
iPad, and
logs,
he like helps
reports,
her out.
evidence logs,
Yeah.
and other documentation
I didn't
regarding
notice it.
how the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and the Massachusetts State Police came into possession of each distinct production of Canton Police Department video surveillance footage from January 29th.
Come back.
As the court has heard many times, we have received 3 separate productions. One before trial, which was missing the precise time Ms. Reed's Lexus was brought into the Canton Sallyport garage. Another production in the middle of trial, which included an inverted video showing only the left portion of Ms. Reed's taillight, not the condition of the right rear taillight in the Sallyport garage when it was first brought
Preach
in.
it.
Then we have a
Right.
third production, which was not turned over until after trial in this matter.
So
In that
fucking
production,
shady.
we have video surveillance footage from
Fucking
outside the Canton
shade.
Police Department, where it shows Brian Higgins on his cell phone talking to someone.
He was
at
ordering
1:30 a.m.
pizza.
outside of the Canton
Yeah.
Police Department. The only report or
She does.
documentation associated with any of those 3 productions is a singular report from July of 2024 that details an IT person, Colleen Crawford's, review of video surveillance footage and
We lost
summarizing
Nikki.
information about what she looked at. We have no chain of custody logs, no evidence logs, no reports regarding the download of that information. We don't know who the custodian of records is with regards to those 3 productions, or how this information magically appeared in the Massachusetts State Police and Norfolk County DA's possession. We are entitled to that. We're simply asking for what we have in all the other video surveillance footage, evidence logs, a copy of when that was booked into evidence. The Commonwealth cannot skirt their discovery obligations by simply failing to memorialize evidence that doesn't help them.
So does the Commonwealth have an obligation to create a document
Get it,
that's
Liza.
already in existence?
That information is in their possession. It's Brady, right? We have Canton police officers who handled this footage. We have Massachusetts State police officers who handled this footage. They know that they downloaded the information. You cannot skirt your Brady obligations by failing to memorialize things in reports. We are
See,
asking for
watch
basic
Alessi. He
reports
does
from
it right
witnesses
here.
to recover this evidence.
Right.
They can't avoid on evidence that they're admitting at trial by failing to
Watch how
disclose
smooth
who
Look
this
at
is.
Karen's
when.
face. She's like, get
And
it,
I
girl.
can understand why you might not want to do that. There's an ongoing federal investigation. No one seems to want to take ownership of these videos, but that does not absolve them of their Rule 14
He wrote a note to her. Look at put the
We still
note
don't know
down.
who the custodian of records is.
He does it right here.
Oh.
Look at him holding up the
The
thing.
Commonwealth cannot
It's-
skirt its mandatory discovery obligations
She,
by refusing
Look at
to
him.
memorialize this material and relevant evidence in a report simply because they don't want the individuals involved to be questioned about.
He's a gangster.
The Commonwealth is intentionally subverting its obligations under Rule 14.
He's like,
We're
look,
asking
look.
for this request be allowed.
Yeah. Look at him. He's like, all right here. Come on. And she looks right here.
The second category of information, Your Honor, is information that relates to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office investigation clearing Officer Matthew Farwell of the murder of Sandra Birchmore. There's certain names that this court will recognize. First responding officer.
Look how smooth
Sergeant
this is.
Blank. Detective Kevin Albert. Trooper Mike Dunn. Trooper Zach Clark.
She's calling out all
Colleen
those
Crawford.
motherfuckers.
Lieutenant John Fanning. Trooper Garino. Lieutenant Brian Tully. Trooper Kathleen Prince.
Tessa.
And Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey. All of these individuals are material and relevant witnesses in this case. They are also material and relevant witnesses
Sean,
in the investigation that cleared sworn peace officer Matthew Farwell in the murder of Sandra Birchmore. The parallels in these two cases could not be clearer. It's the same material witnesses, same investigators, same prosecutors, same failure to investigate a law enforcement officer who should have been a suspect.
Hold on, wait a minute. I'm going to pause this. So I'm going to pause this really quick because she is not wrong. Like, for Brady information, like all Brady information needs to be turned over in every case. And if it's not turned over, then it's an automatic dismissal because you're hiding shit because you know it's going to hurt your case. The fact that the Commonwealth has hid so much Brady violation bullshit tells me that they know exactly what they're doing. And this is the thing. Bev's co-signing it. Bev's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. We don't need to hear about Fanning because he works here at the courthouse. Like, she's saying everything that is by law, and but if it was reversed, like we're gonna see shortly. I saw this part and I was enraged. They're trying to throw Alan Jackson off the case because they know that he's a huge fucking threat. And but that's not okay. But this stuff to Bev, it's like, I'll take it into consideration. I gotta talk to Morrissey first.
Yep. Nope, they're all listen.
Specifically in terms of
all in
requests,
cahoots.
We've requested an unredacted copy of MSP report number 26. There are certain reports in this case, Your Honor, that deal with material witnesses that are so heavily redacted that we can't make sense of what is even in them. It deals with an interview conducted by two material witnesses in our case, Lieutenant Fanning and Trooper Kathleen Prince, and we're simply asking for an unredacted copy of that report.
Nope, they weren't either, Jim.
I agree.
We're asking for an unredacted copy of public record responses.
It was just about Bev getting mad at
email
defense.
correspondence and communications associated with the Sandra Birchmore investigation.
She hates Karen.
The communications we've received in our case have been revelatory, material, and exculpatory. Given the consistency and parallel type of investigation, the communications between and among law enforcement officers and the Norfolk County DA's office with witnesses who are material to our case are relevant
Jim Clown.
to be turned over in discovery. Finally, we've also asked for an unredacted copy of all reports, communications, and handwritten notes and other documents from the Sandra Birchmore investigation concerning material law enforcement witnesses in our case.
Right. It's Brady information.
The reports by investigating officers that led to the improper clearing of Peace Officer Matthew Farwell in the Birchmore case go directly to the credibility of those law enforcement officers.
Amen, sister.
Amy, pause it for a
They
second.
drafted in reaching certain conclusions, clearing.
I have never seen.
Go to their credibility. And
I've never seen any case, and I've watched a lot of cases where it's like pulling teeth to get fucking any shred of evidence out of prosecution. I've never seen it in my entire, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, this proves right here that they get so much to hide because it's literally like taking their firstborn, you know?
Right. And this is the thing too. A lot of the times that happens because the Commonwealth, or I mean, we're the Commonwealth, but like the state comes with a case that they think a lot of times, like the states don't take cases they don't think they can win.
Right.
And if they have all of this evidence that points to X, Y, and Z, they know they got it in the bag. Take everything. take
No,
everything.
in fact,
because
it's the exact opposite. The defense is the shit. We're the ones trying to get the evidence. You know what I mean? Like, who asked for evidence of proof that you had your tail light? Like, where the fuck's this video? Like, if you're guilty, well, I would be like, fine, lose the library. But you know what I mean? But I mean,
right.
they're looking for their evidence.
What I don't think is talked about enough. What I don't think it's talked about enough either is that they had the IT guy up on the stand, and he called them out. Was like, "That's not what I gave them."
Right.
If that ain't the biggest motherfucking
he goes, what is it?
of
This
it all.
isn't mine. This isn't what I gave you.
This is mine. And you know too, he was a state witness, and he was like, "No,
Yeah.
no, let's do that."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Well, even like with the blood abstraction or whatever the fuck they call it, but
yeah.
When like even the guy that was doing the testing, he's like, this isn't how this is done. So I don't like he testified on the stand. Like, this isn't how this is usually done.
Absolutely. It's not how it's done. And for him to be, you know what, too, I hope he comes back as a defense witness.
Right.
I hope he comes back and was like, that was not what I did. That's not what I turned over, and do the right thing. This is the thing. I feel like, in my opinion, this case is a lot of people just doing the right thing and not trying to be in the cool kid club. You know what I mean? I understand they all have to work with each other, but at the end of the day, do you want to work with these people?
Right, but at the same time, like they all listen, like, because I have heard too, and even you know, I've heard many times that, like, you know, if you're like, even LV cops, they talk about it all the time. They're like, if you're not a dirty cop, you're not gonna fucking last. You know, and you know, and a department that's all dirty.
Yeah. And like, why not go back and get those Canton police that decided to retire or move to neighboring towns because they couldn't deal with the way that Canton operates?
Right.
That's a huge fucking problem too. Why don't you say to them to come back and be like, why did you leave?
Yeah, character witness, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What caused you that you need to get away? Yep. No, it's so true.
Right.
Well, look at fucking look at Barrows,
which again,
Nick Barrows,
deals with the
Dighton cop,
of a fellow officer. And I would cite one example, Your Honor. For example, Massachusetts.
He's coming back, and they need to nail him. They need to hammer him with questions.
Yeah, and like Sean said the other night too, he's like, listen, when somebody says they saw like the taillight was cracked is a lot different than saying it was obliterated into shreds in
one of his reports,
in
stating that
pieces.
It was obliterated in his
really
skin.
There's nothing to see here. I found some text messages
in pieces. Found over 3 weeks.
A consensual relationship with Sandra Birchmore. No evidence of improper conduct. Nothing to see here.
Undocumented searches too.
When the federal investigators looked at the electronic data, they recovered tens of thousands of text messages,
just willy-nilly,
between Birchmore and Farwell that implicated Farwell in her murder. The text messages, which are publicly available and referenced in federal search warrants, affidavits, are incredibly disturbing. They establish
that's a fucking understatement of the year.
Right.
As a minor, when she was in a cadet in the Stoughton Explorers program,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, she was a young teen.
It clearly implicates Matthew Farwell. It's not even a close
call. His brother.
Is it relevant and material to us that the same expert would analyze a fellow officer's electronic devices and make those types of conclusions?
And like 8 other people raping a young girl. Like,
no, she's married. She's married to what's Auntie Beth's husband's name? Frank.
An ability to conduct an investigation in this case, where there were law enforcement officers who should have been suspects.
Frank.
No, babe.
I think Frank's a judge too.
As to request number 5, Your Honor, we're asking for documents related to the internal affairs investigation into Trooper Michael Proctor. As the court knows, we have an ongoing Rule 17 motion as well with regard to these documents. The Massachusetts State Police is an agent of the Commonwealth. The internal affairs investigation happened quite recently. we're asking the court to go ahead and order those documents because we are on the eve of trial. The administrative hearing that took place deals directly with allegations of misconduct by Trooper Proctor in this case. If Attorney Brennan's position is that these documents are not in the Commonwealth's possession, we're asking the court to go ahead and just order that information be produced so that we're not having to scramble on the eve of trial to obtain that information.
So if it's Rule 17 instead of Rule 14, the third party has to be served, right?
So there is an ongoing order, Your Honor, under Rule 17 as well. We already filed that awareness motion back in 2022.
All right.
It looks like she got her hair relaxed, though. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will. The Commonwealth has indicated that they do not object to requests 6 and 7, so we'd ask that the court allow those requests.
I still love the look that
As
she
to
gave
requests
Dr.
8 and
Wolf
9,
when he got up
those
to
deal
stand.
with a request for communications between the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office.
Oh, you
and the
know
law
she wants
enforcement
Dr.
on one
fucking
hand,
Wolfie Steamy to
and
come walking in the room again. He's like, hey, boo, Frank, don't do it for me anymore.
We find the Commonwealth's response to this request objecting to it particularly interesting. Believing the request is overbroad, that it is beyond the scope of Massachusetts Rule of Criminal Procedure 14.
She does.
And the reason it's interesting that they're objecting to this request is because our discovery request is copied verbatim from Attorney Brennan's request as to the ARCA experts. Now that he's on the receiving end of that request,
fortunately,
he's
that's
objecting to it.
next to
All
impossible
we're asking
almost.
for are the material and relevant communications.
Yeah, she
the
won't.
Commonwealth
I mean,
and its
we can say
agents
she's
had
terrible all we
with their
want, but
experts in
she
preparation
stated,
for
and
this
it's not going to
case. He's
happen.
entitled to that, and it's proper in terms of being able to effectively cross-examine those experts.
Don't be a cuntosaurus. Yeah.
And as to request 10, Your Honor, there's no objection.
Imagine being her kid. Huh?
Right.
Okay.
Seriously.
All right. Mr.
I'll
Brennan.
allow it.
He's like, you should have looked at my notepad.
It's important to represent facts accurately.
Yeah, it is.
His
Hank.
balls never
The court has ordered
dropped.
in the
right?
past when representations
The
have
fucking
been made
irony in
they
that
be
statement.
accurate. We hear an echoing of a claim of Brady, but we hear no substance behind that claim from the defense as to number one. Commonwealth is not going to make logs up that don't exist. They're not going to make a record of something that is not.
Because
in
it
writing,
doesn't
that
exist, and
there
it
is no witness
should.
for. The defense has
No.
asked a chain of
No, you just make up
custody,
fucking
logs,
videos that
evidence
shouldn't
reports.
exist.
If they existed, they would get them.
Right, you
I
just
told the
invert
defense in
videos.
an informal
Right.
discovery request, I would look into any chain of custody
And
information.
fucking evidence.
And I
Mass
did.
fucking.
I've
Right.
spoken to a number of witnesses, including the retired sergeant, and I expect that I will have him write a report to give to the defense, and I'll provide them all the information that I have about what I could find out about the tapes that were provided in this case.
He missed
Came
that
from,
part of
Who
puberty.
downloaded them, who touched them, and who they went to. But there are some things the Commonwealth can't not do. They cannot simply invent a log when a log does not exist, and they cannot.
That's a huge problem, Hank.
Right.
Huge.
Custody
Right.
that is not in writing and there is no witness to.
Yeah.
I've done my best to be thorough and diligent, and they will receive a report and have all the information that we have.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Your nose
Hold
is
on, I'm going to
growing.
pause this
that
really
it's
quick.
important
It's,
during
it's
arguments.
enraging, isn't it?
You know, so this is my thing, right? So like, I believe that he came in here not knowing much of anything, okay? And I think that he has done his like trying to hand things over. But there's so many things that don't exist that should exist, that all he's doing is making excuses for his next case. But what he's forgetting is he's taking on a case that already happened, and he's not starting from scratch.
Right.
And he's not starting from scratch. And so the things that are missing, like, you have to deal with the fact that they're missing, and your law enforcement made no logs, no audits. They didn't secure a scene. They used solo cups and put it on a garage floor for evidence. They used a snowblower. They didn't go into the house. So they didn't go into the house, but they went back.
Bye, babe. Yeah. go
Huh?
ahead.
Yeah, no, and
Sean,
but they went back to the house 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, yeah. Berkey just happened to drive by and see a fucking big piece of tail light.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Berkey's in no health condition to be going out in the winter digging through snow for the tail light. But for 3 weeks, you didn't go into McAlbert's house? Are you fucking shitting me?
But they found nothing in 3 inches of snow.
Right.
You know?
Right. It was nothing.
Not a 12-inch foot. I mean, foot. Jesus Christ. A 12-inch sneaker, black sneaker. You know, size 12. Like, come on. Bye, babe.
Right. And a 6'2" man, 220 pounds. We didn't see him either. And we've been past the yard. I mean, Microdot's video is wonderful, but it does not accurate description of how big that yard is.
When you
Bro,
drive
you can
by
take 4 steps into that front door.
In real life, it's completely different. It's so small. And
it's in real life. It's
and the light. Different. I mean, it does. You see everything.
This is actually pretty funny. Hold on.
Going.
I know.
Auntie Deb needs to do a skit of Bev and Mr. Wolf's seduction 100%. Video. I agree.
The Commonwealth implying something
He's so funny.
That these witnesses are involved in this other controversial case that has nothing to do with this case that the defense would like to parasite onto.
Parasite onto, you fucking dick?
Throw out terms and words.
I know. What a way of words, Hank.
For our audiences here on our right.
Yeah.
To create an illusion.
Words matter.
There is nothing that they have provided about the Birchmore case that would provide a basis for the Commonwealth to now go scramble and search for information that there's no good faith actually exists.
See, pause this, Amy, right here. This is the shit that gets me fucked. This is the shit that fires me up right here.
Troopers, the DA, from a line.
He literally comes in blind, talking shit without.
There must be a factual
dotting his I's and crossing his
factual
T's.
Basis, a good faith basis. We hear the defense say that Trooper Garino says nothing to see here. I have not seen that report.
He said he didn't find anything. No text messages.
Says nothing to see here. I don't know what report they're speaking about.
He missed 32,000 messages.
Done something wrong.
Yeah.
In a different case, they imply it. They're suggesting that's the basis.
Because he was covering his buddy's ass.
Thing to do with Weed's case. And so the reality is the Birchmore case is being investigated by federal. There's been a number of disclosures for information that has been public record. And there is no good faith basis that there is something in that case that is relevant in any way to this case. Ms. Birchmore was a victim.
Amy, pause that right now. Pause that.
Okay.
Number 4.
Hold on. It's like stupid. You have to like go back and forth.
Sorry.
Go ahead, girl.
All right. So he says there's nothing in that case that. Can you hear me, Marco?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me now? No. He says like there's nothing in that case that pertains to this, basically, whatever wording he used. But that's just false right there in itself. Like, okay, mind you, like in any situation, you have, you go in for a surgery, right? And your sister goes and has surgery, okay? And you have a surgeon that covered up something that, you know what I mean? One of it, oh my God, I sound like fucking Tom. I'm going off the rails. Hold on. Time out. Basically, they're shady, period. Garino was sticking up and covering shit for his boy, okay? And they all work together hand in hand in different cases. I don't trust Garino. I wouldn't trust Garino. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, he literally made the world believe that this poor girl killed herself.
Right.
You know, like, I don't care. You're still the same. They're still the same players. They're still dirty players.
Right. It's all the same players, and it's all has to do with covering up for other law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
The same people.
Yep.
The same people. And a little girl was murdered because
and a baby.
And the baby. That's what I mean. A scummy cop got her pregnant, and when he was married, and he was raping her since she was a minor, and these people covered that up. If you aren't the most disgusting human being, and there's women involved in this, that Colleen Crawford lady or whatever, like you're a scumbag, scum.
Yep. That's the thing, you know. That's just. It's just, it is what it is. They work hand in hand. They are buddies. They are friends. They're, you know, it's like, unfortunately, man, I'm in a fucking tight spot. Amy, you call me up in the middle of the night, dude. I'm in a tight spot. I would fucking come and fucking help you. You know what I mean? Like that's just what friends. I mean, granted, I wouldn't do to this level, but like, you know, like, but covering for a murder and shit. But like, well, I mean, for you, I would. But, but no, like legit, like these are shady people, and it's the same players, and it's the same. You know, it's the same tactics though. The hiding of the text messages, the hiding of the evidence. Fuck that. No, sorry, I don't trust it.
Yeah, no, I don't trust them at all. Like at all. All right. Let's keep going. We only have a little bit more.
Bye, Tario.
Again, in the Birchmore case, why? Why that case? Troopers work on many cases. That case certainly has.
And squeaky wheels, 100%. Should have already been suspended. Yep.
Because of the
second they caught it.
Of it, the sadness of it. But what does it have to do with this case? Nothing.
Dude.
But invoking it is helpful for the defense. So they do. You should reject it outright.
Oh, 100%, Olivia. You know that. Of course they do. They love that grab ass.
Yeah.
All communications, documents, reports, memorandum regarding trooper progress.
They're
playing grab ass with everyone but their wives. I can guarantee.
They probably play hide the pickle too, Olivia.
In the Commonwealth's possession and control, we would and would be in addition to what's in our
you know that's
control,
right.
We know that there's likely statements that would be helpful for the defense. So we have an affirmative obligation under Graham. In fact, I had a conversation with defense counsel, and they asked if I would join them in a phone call and speak to counsel for the state police to try to encourage the production of materials in this case, whether they're exculpatory or not, even material irrelevant. And I agreed I would do that upon request. Now, that call has not been set up by the defense, but when it is, if it is,
oh, Amanda, you should see us together.
I'll advocate for them for this information. In addition, there's a Rule 17 that has been ordered by this court that imposes an ongoing duty separately upon the state police. Now, state police have certain protection where it's an internal affair investigation by law. I cannot usurp that law. I can only earnestly try to my best of my ability. I sent an email on January 28, 2025 to a number of attorneys at the state police. And I informed counsel in view of the
Wheels, I want to know how you know that.
Under Brady versus Maryland.
How do you know that, Wheels?
The most recently set out McFarland and Graham. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office is inquiring whether the Mass State Police Legal Department and law enforcement officers assigned to the State Police General Headquarters in possession of any relevant materials, statements of Mr. Michael Proctor, witness statements, and any findings relative to the Department investigation and hearings relative to this matter. The Commonwealth is under a continuing duty to acquire and obtain
oh, we are.
Evidence pertaining
this is mild, my friend.
All potentially exculpatory and relevant evidence must be disclosed to the defense.
Long Island.
Evidence is any evidence that would tend to
Mr. Ear Lover.
Mr.
Ear Lover.
Credibility. Exculpatory evidence also includes any allegations of misconduct that bear upon the this and the integrity of the investigation, or could be read as suggesting bias or would question one's credibility to be impartial. In addition to any obligations under
Wheels.
Mass Rule 14, Commonwealth alerts Internal Affairs Division of Massachusetts employees to an ongoing Mass Rule Criminal Procedure 17 order for the production of records regarding the investigation of Trooper Michael Proctor, to the extent that any records beyond that was initially produced in March 19, 2024, please provide forthwith to the Commonwealth and the defense. So we are and have made best efforts to provide all of that material. The defense is entitled. We cannot force them or compel them, but there is the Rule 17 motion, and we'll continue to abide by our obligation and duty.
Yeah, you're not abiding by shit, Brennan.
Right.
Numbers 6 and 7, we do not object.
He bit off more than he can chew
Number
with this.
Oh, 100%.
There is a difference.
100%.
ARCA, and we'll discuss
It's
that
such
in more
a
detail when
it's
we get to the
legit.
ARCA
It is
motion.
such a career killer.
I got
to be
boobies. I got boobies. She's asking for my boobies.
There is a difference between ARCA
Right.
as an expert witness
Ew,
and typical
no.
expert witnesses.
Ew, bitch.
I can assure the court that we
Ew.
provided our entire case file.
Really
Ew,
disgusting.
Expert. We provided
Ew.
all of our
Camera?
materials
Now we get warts.
for all of our experts. The discussion between the experts, the oral discussion between the experts.
Oh, I know.
Mm.
Trust me,
cannot
Wheels.
be
I gotta be
replicated.
watching it soon.
Anything
Go
inconsistent
USA.
or exculpatory or helpful for the defense, I would reduce it to writing and I would provide it to
Ew,
them.
Amanda.
They have
Icky.
all the materials our experts relied upon. They have all of the reports. They have all the raw data. They have the research material. I do not believe that tracking phone calls for a regular
Love you, Wheels.
expert is possible, number one, and has any relevance whatsoever. It is different for ARCA, and again, I'll delve into that when we talk about
That's
ARCA.
nasty.
Because that is a
Liv,
very
that's
unique
disgusting.
situation. We have been very broad in our
Disgusting.
expert disclosures.
Wheels, you can come up
Written
here if you
communications,
want.
number 9, email, text message between Norfolk
No,
County
he's
DA's
got the Winter
Office of
Nationals are on.
Enforcement and
Canada versus
any
USA.
expert. Again, there's scheduling
Oh.
issues. I've been through.
I know we're losing people
I
by,
know.
by the minute, but I don't even give a fuck. I'm having fun. That's all that matters.
and text
Right.
messages, and I have given a healthy production of materials. That
That's
are
all right. I
relevant,
don't care.
would even
You
suggest any
noodles.
type of bias. And in addition,
The people who want to be here are, and that's what matters.
of any statements whatsoever with any witnesses in this case,
Yeah.
so that I can review them.
Yep.
And I've received.
I used to love Pee Wee Herman. I think I don't know. I used to love him when I was a
End
kid.
of last week, and I'll
What a
continue to
weirdo.
look through all correspondence available to me for Rule 14 materials and provide it.
Pee Wee and Spanky. I mean,
All right. Any
hi, Sammy.
follow-up, Ms. Little?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So I'll take that under
Yeah, I know.
advisement.
Sammy's
Poor
back.
Charlie.
Do you have
Poor
that Rule
McAvoy.
17 paper
I know,
number?
it's sad.
My- Pee Wee's Playhouse was great.
Your Honor,
I
we
loved
have the
Pee Wee's
paper number
Playhouse.
for the motion.
Yeah, we'll have to find, I mean, we're
I-
over 500 at this point, so.
Yes.
All
I
right.
bet Hank had scraps.
Oh,
All right, so next we'll move on to the so-called ARCA motion, Commonwealth's motion
ew.
to exclude employees of ARCA, paper 497, and the opposition 505.
Maka like a high,
So,
maka hiney
Mr.
ho.
Sure.
So when are we gonna get to the juicy stuff about AJ? Because I think it's all bullshit. I don't think she's gonna get rid of AJ. I think that would look really bad for her.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, AJ ain't that stupid. So he wouldn't do anything to jeopardize fucking Karen
she
or his
would not
fucking
do it.
career.
Right? Lally's career is over. Let's just put that. The fact that he's at the side table with Brennan is just
Your
for
Honor,
view.
my
It's just for
purpose
looks.
is
And
to
not for nothing, they are a team.
deprive the
So,
defense of
No,
an
you
expert,
can't tell me that it's
or
it's
deprive-
anything more
deprive
than
the
just
defense of an ARCA expert in
hotels
this
and
case.
shit, because
But
any
there
one of
has
them
to
would have
be
caught
a
that.
minimum requirement of reciprocal discovery. and
I wish
discovery
hold on, I'm
for
gonna
the
pause this
party
because we're
to
being
call a
we
witness.
just need to pause it. I wish that I would join Turtle Club because I heard that there's some really like fascinating shit in there. But call me cheap. I won't pay like $20 a
Dude,
month for it.
I ain't gonna either. I take it up on Saturdays and Tuesdays. Yeah. I thought about it. Like it was a night that I thought about it, doing it. And I think it was like last
Me
weekend
too.
when shit hit the fan, or like court was coming. But I was like, no, I can't.
No, I can't see it. And like, if you made it more affordable, I'd be there every week. But your girl is on a tight budget.
Yeah.
All right. AJ isn't going anywhere. Auntie Bev is just a pig that can't breathe because her and Meatball hooked up in the chambers. Ew! That comes with a
Mama, you're dirty, Mama.
You are a dirty noodle, Mama. What the fuck? What 20? No, I don't know if it's $20. That was an exaggeration, but it's like,
yeah, I think it's like $15.99.
Yeah, it's $15.99, and it's like once a week. You know what I mean? If it was every day, like I might
say that the witness helpful or unhelpful. There has to be full disclosure when calling.
I paid for one.
It's interesting.
Steven, you are an OG. You are like, you have my heart, man.
That the information's unavailable to them, and that since there's been a voir dire and trial testimony, that should be enough. Well, what the government worries about is that there is other things that are relevant, like compensation, promise, reward, inducement.
No,
there's collaboration between one side or the other, and that expert witness know about and can't ask about. That there's some type of bias or favoritism that the expert might have towards one side for whatever reason. So if that information is not disclosed, then it is not only an impediment, it creates a position where it is an unfair examination.
I will tell you, I ain't scared of much, but I'm scared of Turtle Boy. I will forever stay on that man's side.
If the defense is going to be a proponent of those witnesses, they have obligations, Rule 14 obligations for basic discovery. Now,
hold on.
I wasn't at the last trial, but I've read the transcripts. And on June 10, 2024, you asked the defense about Archer, and it was represented these experts were hired by the federal government, and they provided a report to us pursuant to a TUI request. It was specifically outlined and ruled that they could not prep with us for trial. Could not prep with us for trial. And so Your Honor said, so I am to believe that the defense.
I only paid for it when it was like, or like, I only really liked it when Mike Giannetti was like the feature for all those weeks because I know him personally.
Only for purposes of coordinating their testimony and their background. We've not been able to interview.
And he's as much of a piece of shit as he says
regarding the findings, which are outlined in detail in the reports that both sides have. Your Honor said, see, I don't see that as being the report. I don't see that as being detailed. It leaves a lot of questions as the gatekeeper as to what they can testify. And you have not complied with your Rule 14 obligations. And the defense says, we can't, Your Honor. And Your Honor said, so you can't, but you haven't. So I'm left with that you have not complied.
Cindy! Hey, girl.
On page 28.
Yeah, PJ Patty.
12 and 2813 of June 10, 2024. Now, having some familiarity with the federal government.
Hey.
It seemed to me, based on my limited experience,
always
much more to the story. So I called the federal government and I tried to encourage them to provide full discovery so that the experts could testify. I was resigned to a TUI letter. I've been down that road many times. It's a dark road that never sees the light of day. So I filed a TUI letter, comprehensive TUI letter. And it was delayed in over a long period of time with requests and deadlines. I finally received a response that was unresponsive. And it was striking that it wasn't noted as unresponsive, just when I read the materials and Attorney McLaughlin actually identified them. They didn't respond to our request, so Attorney McLaughlin wrote back. And then we got
Attorney McLaughlin's a douchebag.
But these materials,
she's wretched.
Reason why the defense should not be able to call.
I see her coming down the pipeline of ratchet madness.
Mm-hmm.
Having not been at the last trial and reading the transcripts, I only have a flavor for the last trial. So there is email correspondence between the defense, not only the federal government, but the ARCA witnesses themselves. A recent request for their appearance pursuant to TUI, which I have no issue with. But if we look back earlier in the relationship, what we see back in March 22nd, 2024, is that there are conversations between the defense, Attorney Jackson, and Daniel Wolf, who's one of these ARCA
The
witnesses.
Queen's house,
Thank
Cindy.
you so much for taking the time to get on the phone with me this morning pursuant to our conversation. Please feel free to forward an engagement letter to this email address. I will get that countersigned and returned to you forthwith.
Yep.
Along with
We all have trash bags in the family.
Commonwealth, as I understand it, was not aware of any promised rewards or inducements or payment. They relied on the reciprocal discovery order of this.
But that's what you do for experts. You send them in, you house them, and you send them back.
Hi, Alan. Subject to our conversation on Wednesday, the U.S. Attorney's Office asked me to pause any further conversation until we received additional information from their office regarding how our involvement will move forward. Now, it's not the opinion.
Yeah, she is.
The relationship almost have an even.
What relationship, bro?
Saturday, June 22nd, Daniel Wolf writes, Alan, I spent some time this morning putting together a brief outline of my qualifications, also attached my D&T list. I obviously won't say what the response is verbatim, but I gave you a general sense of what my response would be. Again, I thought your questioning during the voir dire was fantastic, so please feel free to make whatever changes you feel necessary.
Oh, your mom's in chat, Liz?
By the defense and reciprocal discovery. This is information provided by the federal government after numerous requests, TUI requests, and
is it Mama Noodles?
Best I can to get as much information as I can.
Is Mama Noodles your mom?
An outline.
I know I ain't your mama.
She's of questions and answers for direct examination.
Mila.
The Commonwealth did not have the luxury to privilege. We don't even know that there was an outline that was being disseminated by this.
Oh, I love that. Amanda's one of our faves.
Now I know I love both of you. That makes sense.
What follows from this outline?
I love that.
The outline with remarks from this independent expert who knows nobody. So we see in the margins in the notes, this fair-minded, objective witness says, so not being able to inspect the vehicle is something that's not uncommon in your line of work. And he writes, absolutely not.
God bless.
Not sure if you want to put this somewhere in the direct examination. I have a feeling they, the Commonwealth, are going to argue I didn't personally inspect the vehicle. I had enough information from the material I reviewed, so it wasn't necessary. Need to show the jury it doesn't matter.
No, sir.
In this case.
Oh my God, I gotta go watch it.
It's not dated. It's not dated. The TUI request is a recent February response, but they
we're savages. They booed us, so fuck them.
Now,
right.
I'm not saying that undermines the conclusions of ARCA, or not. I'm not saying they're not qualified.
So we're savages here, Wheels.
But it certainly shows some.
They're overqualified witnesses that were
in this case.
They were hired by the feds. Brennan, sit the fuck down.
Right. Exactly.
Another comment. Would be fair to say because you had a lot of nighttime visibility work, your cases frequently involve pedestrians.
I love it.
Yes, unfortunately, there's a direct correlation between the time of day and pedestrian fatalities. Statistically speaking, most pedestrian fatalities occur during the evening and night hours. That would have been nice to have. So my specialty in the area of lighting and human factors results in a lot of my cases involving pedestrians. Pretty important stuff in this case. And then he comments,
made this
if
a
you
game
don't want
watch
me to
party.
say this,
I know,
that's
right?
fine. That's fine. Shh. Don't tell them.
Miss Sexy Ears. She does have sexy ears, though.
Have you qualified as an expert in court before?
She
Yes.
Sexy tatas now,
my
too.
testimony, I said it 20 times when you asked how
Nikki, take that back.
I misinterpreted the question.
What?
11 trials, 7 days.
Your
You say
ears?
Hank has sexy ears?
No, you
I don't know
bitch.
if it was ever cleared up. And then a bill.
Read Wheels is on
Yeah.
it.
They look like he has like wrestler cauliflower ear.
That's not
No,
trample.
look at Wheels'
That's not trial by
comment.
ambush. That's getting duped. So I didn't know any of this, but I've tried a few
Hey,
cases.
Webby.
I've been around the federal
What
court a
up?
little bit. I know how it works. Sometimes parties pick sides.
She does. What?
Creates an
Don't wow.
imbalance and unfairness, and then
I've
it
seen
allows
them.
the ability to one side to use ghosts.
But they're not.
They create illusions. And
They're
say,
not
something's there,
biased.
something's
Like they
happening,
literally got
federal
hit by the
investigation,
feds
this
and came
person,
in with
and
like
then this
basic
happens.
information because that's all bet fucking
I don't
allowed.
care if the ARCA witnesses
Right,
testify at
exactly.
trial. I don't care about their
Yeah,
opinion,
because she's
but I care that it's unfair,
puppet master,
imbalanced, and hidden. And the Commonwealth, like the
the
defense,
gatekeeper.
is entitled
Right.
to discovery. So if they can produce the discovery, I'd welcome ARCA.
All right, I'm going to take a recess.
Yeah, you're a fucking liar, Hank.
Oh, here we go. All right, oh, look at the fan. You haven't seen it in a long time? Only fan. She used to be in chats all the time.
It really did, Wheels.
Oh my God, Bev. Bev, we need to go get a beverage, a phone call, a Xanax.
Yeah, dude, after that, she definitely needed a Xanax for sure. Yeah.
For sure. Needed a Xanax. All right.
Something on February 6th,
Oh,
2025.
You were a surprise, honey. A surprise.
Then today, so that when we meet again to address these issues, all affected will be appropriately prepared. So I'll see you a week from today at 11 o'clock in the morning. You can tell me now if that is impossible for you.
I mean, she looks heated. And I don't think it's at Jackson. I really don't. I think there's something else.
Where
I mean, the way she was shaking.
The federal authorities have been kind enough in the past to allow me to have copies of everything.
She sounds like a dying cow.
There you go.
Call over there or check with
Bless her heart.
to see if I can in fact get a copy of everything that you just read.
I can, and there's a brief chronology I think Your Honor should be aware of. If I could add that right now.
Good. That's what they did to us, Wheels.
Chronology is December 4th.
Yep.
We sent another tour request, 2024. January 6th, we filed our notice of intention to exclude ARCA experts. January 30th, 2025, the United States Attorney's Office sent a response to both ours and the defense requests. Without any prompting on February 6, 2025, the defense and the prosecution received an email from the U.S. Attorney's Office saying that the contract had ended with the ARCA experts and that if either party wanted to engage, the original materials are still protected. This was a change in position about whether a party could engage. On February 11th, we filed the motion to exclude. February 13th, the defense provided us the emails that I read. February 13th, 2025, I think I said the federal government, the defense. February 13th, 2025, they sent us the emails and the direct examination outline.
Yeah, exactly.
We reached out to the federal
He's
government.
trying to reel her panic attack.
She didn't even
the contract ended, but that parties could contact ARCA. Obviously, the Commonwealth is in no position to contact ARCA because that would naturally preclude the defense from retaining them. So we've refrained and we will not reach out to them.
Oh,
all right.
He's
so
trying to
the
throw them a
information that was
bone.
provided to you, not from the federal government. I'd like a copy of before you leave.
Yeah, now she's like, oh, it wasn't the federal government.
Right.
Now you're lying to
A
me.
week from today.
Yeah.
Your Honor, is it possible to move it one day to the 26th instead of the 25th?
Microdots' video was priceless, though.
It would have to be
Yeah, it was great.
at 9 o'clock in the morning.
You can do it over Zoom.
Oh, great, thank you. We can do the afternoon of the 25th, if the morning doesn't work.
Oh, he wasn't there?
The problem
Well, I'm a Bees fan.
hearing on the 24th. I have to fly on the 24th even to be here.
So you can be on Zoom for the one.
Yeah.
To accommodate whatever the court's calendar is. I have to accommodate the court's schedule. Do it live. I'd rather do it live, but I will accommodate the court's calendar.
Are all parties available at 9 on the 26th?
They're all like, no.
Ma'am, just a moment.
Thank you.
It's the sign for me that's just like total disrespect.
Mm-hmm. Let's go USA. Woo-woo. Sandy, no. You know who he is? He's Hermie from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I want to be a dentist.
I want to be a dentist. I want to go to Misfit Land.
Your Honor, will accommodate the 25th, one way or the other.
All right. So we'll see everyone.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. Just on behalf of Mr. Alessi, is there any chance the court would entertain the motion that he's doing today or no?
No.
Okay.
All right. 11.
Wow.
Thank you.
All rise for the court, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Wild, isn't it?
Well, that was fun, kids.
Wild.
That was
wild.
fun. Wild. It's just wild. And it's so evident that that she is just not having it, and she will take anything that the Commonwealth says to heart and thinks that everything. Okay, can we talk about the juror really quick? So I found that to be absolutely maddening,
right? Oh my
and
God.
fascinating.
I was pacing
jury,
back and forth, yelling at my TV. Not even kidding. I'm like, this is so fucking scary. It's scary that this is our peers is who, I mean, they don't even think to just put somebody away for for a while. They're like, well, that's a distraction. What do you mean it's a distraction?
Everything that they heard from the defense was a distraction, and they didn't take anything into. But the thing is, how they literally sat in that courtroom and saw the exact same trial that we saw,
right.
And I don't know how they didn't come to at least some.
No, it doesn't.
Of this,
it doesn't. It's just, like it is just common sense. Just common sense.
Yep. And you know what too, not for nothing, someone pointed out, I think it might have been TV, that a lot of Norfolk County are super vanilla. It's a very hood county, very affluent, and they probably are blindly support law enforcement because they just don't see what everybody else sees. And unless you've been in a situation where you've been fucked over by police, fucked over by courts, if you haven't known anybody that's happened to. Now, not to mention, there are a lot of piece of shit fucking people in Norfolk County too that look at the doctor who off 2, 3, 4 doctors are off their wives in Dover. You have Brian Walsh. You have all these type of things.
Listen, time out though. Hold that thought. Look at Wheels' comment. Pull up the last comment of Wheels' comment. To me though, how does nobody not? Nope. Next one. Go down. How does nobody not know what reasonable doubt is?
You've never watched Law and Order?
If you have to question something, that's reasonable doubt.
Yeah, if you have to question whether or not Jen McCabe.
He literally said, well, we couldn't figure out how the back of his head got cracked up. Okay, well, that's reasonable doubt, dude.
And the Trooper Paul scenario of him being
I know, Stacey, that's crazy to me. They found McCabe credible. They didn't feel either one way or the other about Jen McCabe either.
Trooper Paul was credible?
No, Jim McCain.
Who went and got his own fucking snowblower and solo cups from the sergeant across the street. What type of circus are we running here? That's okay. So you know what, too? I if any of the jury, they're not watching me, but just in case they are, what if this was your family member?
Right.
What if Karen Reed was your family member?
Right.
And you had all of this evidence against somebody else?
And it was your daughter or your sister or your mother.
It was you. Like I just don't understand. You have to put yourself into other people's shoes in order to see where people are coming from. And the fact that they thought that the entire defense was like.
In their defense, though, like Bev completely failed them altogether, though. Because she did not do what she was supposed to do and made it truly known, like explain. But then, like, brother counsel was like, you really need to focus. Like, next time go in there, explain 100% what reasonable doubt is.
Like, peace, my motherfucking peace, because these people clearly don't get it. Reasonable doubt means that, like, okay, we have all these facts against the defendant, but there's other information that like you doubt that something else could have happened.
And something it's like those little, like when you're a toddler and you have those like blocks that are a circle or a square, and the square doesn't go in the circle, and you when you're a little baby, you're like, why can't it go in there? That's fucking reasonable doubt. I was fired up. I was so mad. I was hot. I was like fuming. Oh my god, my face, my iris was coming out. It was red. I was so pissed.
Wait, your question. I don't think I actually heard. I don't actually think I heard. What did the juror end up saying about the verdict slips?
So they thought they were confusing, and then once they got changed, once AJ put up a stink about it, and Bev kind of like shunned him off a little bit, but he said that they were more helpful. But even they were still just torn. But even with the manslaughter, they were like, well, she, and he kept saying like, well, she was arrested and she's the one being charged, and she did drop him off and they were together and she was drinking. It's like, but still, like, if it doesn't make sense, then it's reasonable doubt. Just because she did bring him, that doesn't mean that she did it.
So, like, Nikki, if I went and dropped you off at Pissa's house, right? And you ended up, I mean, I'm not, this is just a scenario.
Well,
and I dropped you off there and you went in. He was having a little shindig. I was waiting because I felt uncomfortable. I didn't feel good. And you were going to call me and tell me whether you're going to stay or not. You hadn't come out. I left. How am I responsible for what happened to you after that?
Right.
And all they kept saying is like, this is another thing too that is like a humdinger for me. Okay, they keep talking about the fact that she was drinking and driving, and anything can happen. They were all drinking and driving. Every single one.
Well, that's what TB said. That TB's like, well, they all were drinking and driving, and
all
he's
of
like,
them.
but she was the one sitting in the chair, and it's like, oh my fucking god, like these people, like you can't be that stupid.
Right. Like, or they just look at her as a cop killer, and it doesn't matter what anyone says. The cop ended up dead, and they just think that someone has to pay, and she's the person. And that's really
Wheels is right. He says Ronnie may be an EMT, but he hasn't been in the street that much. He may be one of those guys that transports from hospital or nursing home. Right. And I agree to that. But I also think that, I mean, he's brave for coming forward, so I appreciate that. But I also think that he's probably a bit of a pushover. You know what I mean? Like you put Amy and I in there in jury, like we're controlling this shit. So I bet Ronnie sit the fuck down.
People are listening to us. Hey, I didn't know that. You're the pick. No. They're like, hey, do you know anything about it? No, I just have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Scooter, sit down, all right?
Like, and that's the thing too, like maybe they need people who know a little something. I don't think at this point there's like not many people that don't know anything about the case. Or at least something. You know, I think that like there, and plus with Bev
Right.
suppressing
Foreman,
so much,
yeah.
so much evidence that is so pertinent to Karen's defense. Like if she says the ARCA people can't or kicks AJ off, I have lost all faith in humanity.
Right.
All of it.
100%.
All of it.
But then again, like it sucks and it kills me to even have this come out of my mouth, but I wouldn't be surprised because she sucks that
Heard a lot
bad.
of shit come out of your mouth, girl. Oh my God.
Yeah, no,
It's
yeah.
weird how none of the others are speaking. I mean, they could be scared because he even said that it was intimidating to find Brian Albert, Jen McCabe, and Colin Albert sitting for closing arguments. So it's like, is it really far-fetched that they're not scared? You know,
just think,
what I mean? You know, because
think,
it feels like, well, people are cops. They can find out where the fuck you live.
Like TB
They can
said,
find
right?
out your
But he
car.
said it perfectly. He said that it was like an all-way jury. Like, put some fucking people with some like skin in the game. You know what I mean? People that like just have lived. You know, like a little rougher.
And like not for nothing, they had Asians, but like all the like I have a lot of Asian friends, and they're not very street. They're very education. Like they have great jobs.
MIT, yeah.
Like, but they don't have it. Like I'm gonna use my friend, and I'm not gonna name her just because she's watching.
No
she's Asian, and she comes from a great affluent family, and she has never lived outside her box of what she knows. Not street at all. Doesn't kind of have like the to think outside the box of like very factual, very very analytical, where it's just like, okay, these are the facts, and she was drunk and she dropped him off. They were in a fight. She's guilty, right? They can't see past that. And a lot of people are only for the Commonwealth. They think all defendants are guilty, and maybe they should look into that too. Like
that's the problem right there. Like I guess that's where I differ from, because I have people of faith, I have felons, I have killers, I have all aspects, all colors of the wheel that people that I am friends with. You know what I mean? And I don't judge anybody. Shit happens, but I also I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like they need to do a little better picking the jury.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, too? I think that I came into this case. I've been in true crime a long time. I think that for a long time I solely just always sided with the Commonwealth, thinking that they had it right.
Yeah, hold that thought, Ames. Wheel, you're 100%, because that's what I said. I feel that somebody or somebody's, I feel like they use that word distraction during deliberation, and I feel it just was like the go-to word. You know what I mean? To people that don't have a clue. You know what I mean? Oh no, those two guys, like, they're just, because it's like they took notes, but they weren't allowed to also use their notebook only when they were deliberating, right?
Right.
Wasn't that what they said?
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, they weren't allowed to like read the transcripts, nothing. So they had to go. I mean, when Lally was out there, like, I was taking fucking naps. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine being on the jury.
My ears were bleeding.
I was
like,
like, all right, I got like an hour. It's gonna bring me out the day.
And I did hear that that mistrials are very narrow of what they can actually bring up and like what they can actually do. So like maybe a lot of like the apron, snow talk, and things like that won't get brought up. Like, just bring the fucking facts. But at this point, they can't even agree with what the facts are, and they're trying to suppress a lot of Karen's defense. And any defense is entitled to whatever their defense is.
Correct.
And the end of the story. And the fact that like Hank is trying to keep it all out says volumes to me. That tells me everything I need to know about Hank Brennan.
Right. You know, you're gonna get people that judge her because of her, like, you know, I get it. She makes faces and she's cute and she's pretty, and you know, she's sitting in that seat for a reason, right? But you know, you don't, when somebody's life's on the line, like, you can't judge a book by its cover. Period.
Right. Those jurors were naive and clueless and lack of street smarts. 100%. I firmly believe that. And then they had that one really, really alpha foreman that picked herself and went back there and wrote that. Someone said that the note that he sent back was from ChatGPT.
Wait, what? What?
That the note he sent to Bev at the end there, that it was made through ChatGPT. It like made it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and I believe that.
I just think because they were talking about you can hire people to, that's what they do. Like they're specialists on how to like know juries. Basically, I don't know whatever they're called.
Yeah,
but
jury
I think
pick.
that's what they should. Yeah. I feel like that's what they should probably put some money into doing that. You know what I mean? But
you're right. I totally agree.
You never know. You truly never know. Like, I mean, I could go in and they'd be like, "Oh, this bitch, like she's gonna hate Karen." You know what I mean? Or like, like you never know what somebody. But I do. I feel like that you need a little spice, a little sauce in the game in that jury pool.
And like, not for nothing, I'm one of those people, like I wear all of everything on my face. Like if my mouth doesn't say it, my face does. And some people are just like that.
That's
you know what I mean? Like I would definitely be sitting there rolling my eyes like this motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Like
this is bullshit. Like you want to call me a fucking all those things, like go fuck yourself.
Yeah. But what does Real say? Both sides have seen the interview and both watch. All the creators to get the idea of what to do. Yeah.
Part two.
Yeah. I mean,
the thing is that like, we can all sit here and play like, Monday morning quarterback about whatever, but she has an amazing team and they did what they thought was right. And they were
Wheels was looking at your ears, not your face.
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling him now, Wheels? Is her ears? I'm just kidding.
I can't. All right, my kid is starting to wake up.
Yeah, I gotta go watch this game.
Yeah, thank you for coming on with me, Nikki. We'll do it again.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Yeah. And it was so nice to hang out with all of you, and I love you all. I'll be doing this
guys,
again.
hit the like button, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Pass me along. See if we can get some more of our feral friends up in here to
yes, we need a feral Friday again.
Yes, yes. All right, guys. I love you. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Nikki.
Bye, Aim. Love you.
Love you.